Hello. Thank you for joining me today. This video comes to you live from Quesnel, British Columbia, Canada, in the Baker Creek community. This is the place where Mike and I had started a very, very successful cattle ranch for a few years. It has since been overgrown. We're in the process of selling it all. It's a beautiful place. The beauty of this country drew us here long ago. So I wanted to talk to you today about a story about how I left here and what happened these past few years and why I'm now back. So about 4 years ago, I decided that it was really important for me to start my own path. And I told Mike that I wanted to separate. We were living here just down the road, and we lived together, separated for about a year. And then there was something that just called me. I mean, I was already doing the dance classes. I wasn't really thriving. I felt like I needed some growth outside of this community. So I decided to start searching outwardly, and it stumbled me upon Kelowna. And I was given an opportunity to jump into an already established NIA community, which was phenomenal for me. It was like 30 people, and I think it was in 2020. And I felt so blessed and so honored to step in, and it was already going, and everyone was already familiar with NIA, and I just had to come in with my newly learned skills, which was so good for me because I had so much to learn and so much growth to be had, and I didn't have to also have brand new students, which is what I had here because no one here knew what NIA even was. So I stepped into that community and the studio, and I was glowing with excitement. I was also very afraid. I had never been anywhere by myself before. I had never thought of what it would be like to live alone. My kids did decide to come with me after my daughter had finished her college in Vancouver. She joined me, and my son also joined me, and we lived in Kelowna together for a year in an apartment. And then the second year, the kids transitioned away, and I bought a travel trailer, which will be a whole nother episode, a whole nother story. But I lived in that for a year and a half, and really got rooted, and it was really, really fascinating and phenomenal for me because it was an affirmation that I could do this on my own. And you know, I being here and having the cattle and having the ranch and having 40 below Celsius in the winter, everything freezing up, it gave me such a knowledge of how to sustain myself. So unfortunately, what happened is the lady that handed me her classes, her love for NIA was so strong, and she decided to come back out of her retirement. And as doing that, a lot of her students ended up going back to her. That coupled with COVID and all the things of the world shutting down made my classes dwindle a lot. And I ended up having to get a 9 to 5 job to support my dancing, and it just felt like it kept slowly declining. And I didn't know how to deal with that. There was a lot of feelings of unworthiness and failure, and I didn't like how I felt. So I had one of my students. She offered me to go to Singapore and Bali with her a year before the date, and so I jumped on that opportunity. I always wanted to travel, so it was a really great opportunity to go with someone that she was born there, and just kind of ride on her back a little bit and get the courage to be in a different country. So we were planning that for a while, and then last summer came, and my daughter was kind of struggling in life, and as most 20-year-olds I think are right now, not knowing what to do, not knowing where to go, not knowing how to afford being here in British Columbia, Canada. So I gave her the I gave her the idea of let's just quit our jobs and go to Spain. So we had 3 weeks. We booked the tickets, and that is also going to be another story that I would love for you to tune in for. But we did that. We did that. We went on the Camino de Santiago and walked 800 kilometers in 35 days, her and I together. And it gathered me more strength and more courage. Came back to Kelowna, got into the same 9 to 5 job that I had left before Spain. They accepted me back, which was beautiful. Then I knew I was only there for 2 months, and then I was going to go to Singapore. And I was gone to Singapore and then later Thailand for 2 months, and came back yet again the third time to the same 9 to 5 job. But this time it was different. It was more complicated for me. I had opened my awareness to this different world, different retreats I went on, different people that I met, different countries that I had visited. And I just felt like I was getting stuck in this coming back to the Kelowna, to the 9 to 5, because I didn't really originally want to go there. I wanted to go there for the dance, and it wasn't happening. So there was a lot of things kind of coming at me, warnings, messages, and I started to think, I don't know if I'm meant to be here right now. So I sat with that for a little bit, and I decided, you know what? No, I need to come back here, which is my home. Quesnel is my home, and reroute and refocus. I'm going to be taking another trip to Portugal. I'm going to do another Camino solo in August. Again, another episode, hopefully. And I just feel like it's such a right thing to do, to be here. It's sunny, it's beautiful. I just watched a black bear walk. I think he's right there, so I need to be careful. But it's so close to nature. It's so far from town. It's so much quieter, calmer. I think I'm going to be able to do a lot more stillness, reading, meditation, maybe do some artwork that I haven't done for years, and just tap into myself and to what's really calling me to 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 be and to do in this life, and what my purpose is. And I love Nia still so much. And I came back, and right when I was deciding to come back, the lady that took over my classes here in Quesnel wants to take the summer off, so I'm stepping into her classes. So I'm still get to do the dance with my old community and new people, and be here with my kids. And it's such a gift. And I think that sometimes the traveling really shapes different awareness, a different outlook on life and what's really important. And I really feel like it's important to be here, and I feel needed, I feel wanted, I feel loved, I feel like everything is complete and perfect in this moment. Like that's kind of what I want to do. I want to live life loving this moment and what's coming true for me right now, and let it be. Nothing is ever perfect. And I say that all the time. Let's just be perfectly imperfect, because that's the essence of it. And I was leaving Kelowna, and I had this strong urge to go get some lilacs, because there's the spring in down south is obviously sooner than here, and the flowers are blooming, and here it's still quite just beginning. It's a lot of dead grass and stuff, and the leaves are just starting to come out. So I went and cut a few branches of this lilac, and I brought some to my mom, and I brought some to my daughter, and it just felt so good. It felt so right. So that's always like an invitation, is to really tap into what feels right in this moment, and not, I find a lot of people are working and striving for what will be right there or then or later, or when I retire I'll travel, when I'm older I'll relax. And for me, relaxing and being here right now is essential. It's crucial for our growth, for our healing, for our community, for our love. And yeah, so I'm so grateful and in love and in peace and still watching for that bear. It's probably right there. But luckily I have an old dog that warned me. He barked and I got to look and see what was there. But I really, really cherish you all. Thank you for following, watching. It's just feels like such a gift to be here and to feel comfortable enough to talk about my stuff, my stories, and have you follow me and see where life leads me and see where life leads you. So please, please, please feel free to comment, to share your stories, to subscribe if you like, and just join me on this journey of life and the ebb and the flow and the the good and the bad and the dark and the light and the love. So thanks again. Talk soon. Stay tuned.